Hello, welcome to another epic commentary video for another black and white SPL game. Today we're going to look at non-binary versus GaryTheGengar. Brian has lost the first 2 weeks, and Gary's 1-1, though he should have lost week 1. Brian got a couple of unlucky matchups, but I mean, that's just the game, right? And so both players really want to win, as if people didn't want to win even when they were doing well. But especially, this is a must-win week for both, especially Brian, because starting 0-3 is pretty sad. Right, so we went back to the basic, it seems, with this is basically a sample team, right? This is the first sample team you'll find in the thread. It's good. There's nothing to there's nothing wrong with bringing this. Probably there are some sets that are not. The sets are probably not one to one with the sample ones, but in general, this is a solid structure, so it's fine. As for Gary, uh, triple steals, Lobro Latios, really? What? What's the what's the idea behind this team? I see it pop up every now and then. I think it's pretty bad. Like, uh, it's triple steal, and then you have a slow bro, and like you have spikes, so you win through like getting spikes up and then push damage with Itran and finish off with say Latios or what? There's also I think it's Carfax Cadril on this structure, which I don't super like because you have a few spikes bait mons and then you have to switch as your opponent gets spikes up. But if you're a Scarf, you cannot really do that well. You really need to hit a lot of magma storms with Itran because I think it is magma on this team. It should be balloon magma. And then like that's not a game plan. That's flipping coins, and I hope I hit my magma storms. Which I mean, sure, if you are good at the video game, you can pull it off. But really? Oh, also, this team loses basically almost 6-0 by Rotom Wash, which happens to be on the opposing side, which means this is going to be an extremely hard game for Gary. It's also not great into say Focus Blast Zam, but at least you have to hit a few to really threaten this, or maybe that's fine. Right, so what's the lead here, and what's the game plan? I mean, Gary obviously gets spikes up, then win, like try to win with Heatran plus, because if you Magma Storm and opponent goes Rotom, that's a decent damage, especially since you should be say Eden Power Grass. And so if you have Rocks up plus Sand and hit Magma on Rotom, it's as good as dead, and then your Excadrill becomes very dangerous for this. Now, obviously, Brine can just go T-Tar on the Etran, and that's still fine because then your Latias is a bit freer to do its thing. Unfortunately, Slowbro is complete dead weight this game. At best, it forces out Landorus, but that's about it. Right. And so, what do you lead with if you are Gary um, versus this? I will lead Ferrothorn personally. And but if my opponent leads Rotom Wash, what do I do? Do I switch to Itran? What if I lead Itran instead? Uh, should I? Probably not. Because I lose the balloon and also take a million damage on Itran, even if Rotom just fall switches, and then they go Landorus potentially, and then it's kind of unfortunate. Alternatively, what can you lead with? I, if Slowbro's fire move, I would maybe even consider leading Slowbro. You will get owned by Rotom Wash, but Slowbro is kind of useless. But at least you can just hard Slack off on the Rotom Wash, probably, or even fish for a Skullborn if you expect a Will-O-Wisp. You probably just called actually, and but then you are into Titar's range after a Volt. Hmm. What else do you do? Any other option? Tranitar, obviously not. Etran, we already said why not. This Eska is probably Scarf, but even if it wasn't, like, no. Latios, no. Okay, so you're kind of forced to lead Ferrothorn. And then we'll just lead Rotom Wash, I assume. And then click Will-O-Wisp. If. Or well, click. You can click Volt too, but nah, just click Wisp. Nobody will hard it, right? On the Rotom Wash turn 1 in this matchup. That's just insane. Right, and if this is not Lanfero, which it really should be, then I don't know, just take the Wisp like a man. And here we go. Right, and it's Rotom versus Ferrothorn, and whoa, 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 whoa. That's an Idmapower Fire Rotom Wash, and it did 33 to Ferrothorn because there's an Occaberry on this Ferrothorn. Okay, hold on. What? I mean, okay, HP Fire Rotom is fine, obviously, and it's in fact great in this matchup. But Occaberry? What? What's the idea? Is it to just lead into, say, Specs Latios and but then like what? No, right? There's no way. What else do you like? What other fire moves can you tank for free with an Occaberry, and why would you care about that? Hmm. I mean, I guess like something like Fire Blast Titar, but seriously, this thing kind of gets owned by Fire move Titar in, but not to the point of running Occaberry and Feral. And even even if that's the reason, then what do you do back? Do you power whip? Okay, great. And then what? Like what was? I don't understand how a game should flow for Okaberry Ferrothorn to come into play in this on this six. Like what's the idea behind it? It's not just, oh, I tank a fire move, because yes, obviously that's why you have an Okaberry, and in fact it just came into play somewhat. Although to be fair, you would have tanked without. You probably could tank too, but it, if that's the idea, then you should power whip turn one, right? So the opponent fires as you power whip, and then they have a, I don't know, let's say 35% Rotom Wash. At least they can pain split of you for free. They have to kill you. You play without rocks. It's kind of awful, but you're trying to win with X anyway. You do need rocks, yeah, but that's just because your matchups into Rotom Wash is so unplayable. All right. So anyway, this just happened. We'll have to roll with it. Latios, are the Latios into Rotom Wash on this spot is crazy, man. What are we doing? And you get fall switched. Is this game? Hold on. Is this game over? This is game over, isn't it? Like this turn, unless Latios Chris Titar, I think it's game over. You insta lose to Rotom Wash from here. I guess you can create it with Hitran as well, but that's but even then, like You also get destroyed by Landorus at this point. Just for the record, like, yes, no, bro, sure. Oh, not even a crit will save you, man. Yeah, it is. Oh, it's rocks too. Nah, this game is done. Now you crunch a Steater because Gary will not switch out because I don't know, that's what people do. They never switch out Latios from Teeter. Right. And so Rotten Wash wins from here, so I could probably quit. I would probably click skip to end and it would be a massacre. But yeah, Teeter, Excadrill, okay. This is a free spin. Or is it? We've seen a couple of Customberry Tyranitar already. Oh, maybe not in SPL, did we? Maybe not. But a seasoned veteran surely knows that some people run Customberry on Tyranitar, right? And so here you switch out to Rioslobro, right? And okay, you can argue that this should be Choppleberry, right? Because this team is kind of owned by Alakazam. But nobody runs Focus Blast Zam anymore, or they do only under extreme conditions. And so you can you can give yourself like say, oh, I think this is likely Chopple, and so I'll go with it because I'm so far behind. I just have to hope my opponent gives me free spin here, which fair enough. I guess actually if this might be Scarflando because it's Rocks Titar, so you run double rocks with Scarflando rocks, and so you are not as weak to Zam. Then yeah, but please scout this. Please scout this. This is not that. Okay, I guess you have to crumble it, but this is just losing. Could have just gone slow, bro. Whatever. Slow, bro, and then Ferro maybe. Because now, yeah, you have spikes. Fantastic. They will hit Ferrothorn, who you hit, you probably kill with everything and up here. All right, so here you go, Heatran and crit Eden Power Grass. And if you don't crit, and or you can also dodge either pump, but probably wall switch as Rotom, although the game is just done. Oh, it's pretty offensive, Rotom. Okay. Um, Pain Split. Or either or whatever. Nah, just Pain Split. Yeah, that's a lot of damage. And Crunch does 44 and Rocky Helmet. Oh, nice. This is a nice stack. So my original idea of just power whipping turn one. Mm, no, I think that's still the better play. But you lose rocks. But uh, I mean, play no rocks, a hard game to begin with, but at least you don't lose 6-0 to 2, right? So I guess you have to power it that turn 1. And either pump comes out, miss, doesn't matter, crunch, extra cheat, here you go, whatever. Yeah, sure. Is this Custaberry T-Tar? No, right? No, no way. On this team, no. It's Chopple, and it dies to Signal Beam, and Slowbro is also dead. Oh, he survives. Nice. Thunderwave? No. Right. So, what did we learn from this game? One, don't run this team, because there's a little guy in this tier called Rotowash, and it will completely destroy you unless you perfectly guess every single turn against it. And even then, like, suppose you lead Ferro and go Itran turn one, right? That's a start. But then, like, you have to basically toss your Heatran to the Rotom Wash, which is fine because you have an Excadrill, but is it really fine? You lose a Balloon, and then there's a Scarfland on the other side. Yeah, you have Slowbro Ferro, maybe it's okay. But it's just too hard. Like, you're making the game extremely hard for yourself. And yes, Rotom Wash is not really a mon you counter unless you're really adamant about running like Seismitoad, but your game plan cannot be whatever this was against Rotom Wash. That's just none. It works maybe on ladder versus people who don't really react properly to your moves, but I guess anyone with some like who puts some thought into what to click, this is just impossible. And even then, like, you cannot just pretend one of the top 10 mons doesn't exist. So you can ignore some, and you probably have to ignore some things when building, because you're never covering all of them. It's black and white, right? But at least have a plan for the most common ones. Like, you will lose to a stupid Keldo settle sooner or later, or like, I don't know, Tandros Terian will have, I don't know, will be U-turn and completely crush your Celebi and then you lose, for example. That's okay, that happens. It's a somewhat niche set on a mon that only happens to work every once in a while, so that's fine to lose to it, or, well, at least to not be as well prepared for it. And even then, it will maybe kill your Celebi, but then you know that it's not, say, agility or nasty plot, and so it's fine. But we cannot say the same about Rotom Wash with its number one most used set, or even if it's Fire move like it was in this case. But Wisp would have been just as catastrophic. So turn one you get Wisp, your Ferrothorn is burned, which which is okay in the sense that then your opponent has to ball switch out, and you get hazards up for free, but you still lose to Rotom Wash in the long run, and there's also hmm, yeah, no, because you can say, okay, I get Whisper one, and I get Rocks up, then turn two, I click Spikes, my opponent wall switches, and what do? Do they go to their own Ferro, say, and click Spikes? Okay, but I I can just switch to Itran, and then I have one Spike up, and then it's fine because I can Magma Store for free. You will have to eat Magma Store, which is very bad, but hey, that's a start. Like, it's a possible play, and that's fine because then you will hit Titar, which is fine because you have a Slowbro or a Latios, or Rotom, which is great because we have Excadrill, and also in general it's just good damage. But I don't know. I'm not convinced. I'm really not convinced. You definitely go Titan and pursue the Etran if it goes like that, right? And then we're back to mega losing. Okay. What else? Yeah, Scout Costa Berry on Titar. Let's please just do it. I know it's not cool. I have a video on Costa Berry, and you can see why it's annoying in a sense. Like, if you have to start worrying about Costa, then it's just you get into these kind of game states. But um, you know how it is, right? Adapt or lose, and yeah. As for Brian, well, I mean, his opponent had no tools for anything, like especially the Rotom Watch. This was a cool Rotom set, by the way. Rocky Helmet, Pain Split, 3 attacks. This is nice. It, it owned this game, but it, yeah, no, that's just like he lost to 3 months, man. It's so sad. Okay. Um, alright, but let's not hate too hard. Although really, this was a bad team, and we don't like bad teams. It's Carfexka, Rocky Helmet Rotom. This is wow. Yeah, no, this was never winnable, like ever. Even if you manage to do some good Etran plays, like how do you stop Latios Zam plus Rocky Helmet Rotom or any Rotom really with this? It's just not possible, right? Hmm. Yeah, no. Uh, and that's how you lose in 13 turns in SPL. Yeah, that's just not it. We need better teams. We desperately need better teams. These have no tools for anything. Like I can see some matchups where this is very strong, but gambling on matchup in a best of one like this, I'm not convinced. I will never be convinced. So yeah, hopefully we get something better next time. Congratulations, Brian. Now you're 1-2. That's a start. First win on the sheet. Woohoo! I'm sure Shake will be thrilled to know this. And yeah, that's it. See ya.